Let's see. This is the pattern of conduct where you're looking at the light source directly over my head. Just as I stated is the case, while you're looking at them crossing path, flying over my apartment, while the light source is still at the same location. This is over building 1806 where you're looking at the sunset. It is currently 1:48 p.m. So that's 5 hours from now. This is documentation of what is impunity. And these are the demon-possessed that engage in that state system in concert with the LAPD, who is apartment while the light source remains over you. And this is where the sun is both rising and setting. And that's the identity of recognizing the demon-possessed. Okay, these are psychopaths who are engaging in a state system on an ongoing, ceaseless basis, and they do so with impunity. That's the sex offense committed by the entity as well. It is again 1:48 p.m. This is building 1806, and this is the documentation of what is federal stalking violation of Title 18. You have all third parties who are going to federal prison. The light source is present over the Upland Public Library on this day, and so you're looking at the light activity. You're looking at what is group stalking in a hallway, while the entity places light on your ceiling, while the entity places lights all over your bedroom walls, while the entity is engaging what's flying over your apartment by helicopter, and you have the demon-possessed who engage in that criminal conduct in plain sight. All of them are going to federal prison. All right, it is currently, again, as you see that light source directly over my head, and they're engaging in what is the massive sex offense with the entity that flew over my apartment in a helicopter. All right, so understand that that's the light activity. While LAPD is flying over the apartment, the light source is right over me at the same apartment. This is the same apartment where the entity is engaging in what is a sunset. And they are together. That's Julia Alvarez, who you're looking at her monitoring in plain sight. She's having fun right now, looking at her phone, thinking that she's mocking someone. She's going to federal prison. Her and her son and her daughter, that I do not believe are even natural born citizens, they're all going to be shipped out of this country if they are not natural born citizens, whether they've been given naturalization. That same impunity that you're looking at while she's looking clearly at her phone, focused on me, and you know that because that's not the sun that's over the Upland Public Library today in 2022, and also present remaining at the Upland Public Library at 5:35 p.m. while you're looking at it right now over my head as I'm standing, going downstairs so you can see that light source, so you understand the significance of what they're doing while LAPD flies over. LAPD's amplified audible activity, crossing path, group stalking, also monitoring with communication devices all together while they are crossing path on this side, walking on the sidewalk, all of them coming to building 1806, group stalking in the staircase, and then crossing path walking in the parking lot. They're all in engineer light. The engineer light that's covering all my ceilings as I'm speaking to, the circuits of lights, they're walking in engineered light. This is not sunlight. The sun's not over my apartment building and remaining over the Upland Public Library. That's the pattern of conduct. And as you're looking at a demon who is in plain sight, she thinks she's mocking someone, staring at her phone. She knows exactly what's being documented. Understand the personality defects of the demon possessed who are openly engaging in criminal conduct in the same video evidence where the entity is stalking with the police. The entity is going to regret that in federal court. That's the documented impunity. That is, again, Julia Alvarez Lopez. She's going to federal prison. She's a violent sex offender. A violent one. Her and her son, Misael Lopez, sex offenders, stalking in a staircase right now, maintaining presence in the path as I'm walking up and down the stairs, are group stalking. All right, and the light source is right here over my head. This is where it stays after 6 p.m. And the entity on this day, the light source is over the Upland Public Library, and that's what I'm capturing while you're looking at light that's all over the floor inside of 450 North Euclid Avenue, where there are windows on the roof, and that's the light source is directly over the roof, which is what I'm capturing on video. And at 5:35 p.m., it's 1:51 p.m., and the entity is maintaining the light source over the library. It's not over 1806. And that's a demon that's having a good time, thinking she's mocking someone. She thinks it's funny right now. Let me be clear. She's going to federal prison for that documented impunity. That's an unlawful threat to the life. And let me be clear. The state, that is LAPD, is mocking and threatening through that documented criminal conduct. That's why I speak to it. She's going to federal prison for that. That's the disbanding of the state that's stalking in helicopter, engaging in that criminal conduct with the people of the state who are in plain sight, right in front of your face, engaging in that violent sex offense, monitoring the target individual in the private space. Is a sex offense committed by the government. And they're doing it while that light source is remaining over it. Let me be clear. While the light source is over my head, as you just saw, it's 1:52 p.m. There's no sun that's over the San Bernardino Superior Court as a matter of documentation at 12:47 p.m. While the entity is engaging in what is mocking, clearly openly engaging in that criminal conduct, thinking that they're mocking somebody, staring at her phone, bending down like she can't see it. That's a demon that thinks that they're mocking somebody. Julia Alvarez Lopez and her son and her daughter, who group stalked by walking the dog, stalking in my path, at the encounter with LAPD group stalking at approximately 11:40. All right, repeatedly engaging in that ongoing pattern of conduct while they're also engaged in federal stalking on the venue of the internet. You're understanding what is the documented act of impunity attributed to the entity. Let me be clear, Universal Waste Systems Incorporated, this is a demon crossing path in a commercial vehicle. Engineer light moving all across the venue. Julia Alvarez Lopez is of that same condition, that's a demon, stalking in the path with LAPD who's flying over in helicopter, and she's engaging in what is this mocking conduct. There is nothing funny or mocking about what she's engaging in right now, but I want you to understand what is the public safety concern of the demon possessed who are engaging in this criminal system with that body of evidence against her. Because Universal Waste group stalking with that engineer light across the building is evidence against Julia Alvarez Lopez. And you saw that demon downstairs acting with that impunity that's going toward how long she's sitting in federal prison. Understand the significance, and she's doing it under the light source. This is the entity that is acting with that level of malice and impunity. That's a threat to your life in the same video evidence where the state is stalking in helicopter, flying over me, that is flying next to the sun, by the way, next to the sun, that is not over the roof of the Upland Public Library, by the way, and remaining over me outside of the same apartment where this was the sunrise at 7:30 in the morning. So let's count the hours together. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. That was 6 hours ago, and you see the sun still over my apartment. That's also the apartment where the police are stalking in a helicopter because they're maintaining presence and repeatedly engaging in that criminal conduct, which is harassment and terrorism, including the mocking and openly criminal conduct in concert with that state exhibited by Julia